I know we just did a video we just recorded about WandaVision and all the how we felt about it and all the positives about the show, but of course it's the internet. There are some negative aspects. There are certain criticisms about the show that I think we could address. There was one major one I think everyone's kind of not everyone, but there is a particular group that's complaining about this series is that you brought Evan Peters into the mix as this false Quicksilver, only to have him as a normal person in Westfield. So there was some disappointment in the fact that I don't know why people thought this, but they really thought that Evan Peters as Quicksilver was going to be Fox's Quicksilver and continue to be Quicksilver in the MCU. What we got was a bonus. You know what I'm saying? What we got was a tip of the hat. What we got was fan service. And I
Yep.
think people were expecting, oh my God, they put Fox's Quicksilver in this and it's going to backdoor the mutants. And now we got Fox's Quicksilver as the new Quicksilver in the MCU. Like, no, man. I can understand how some people could think that who are not, who are not into it like we are, right? But
Mhm.
that was never going to be the case. They were never going to, there was no use for the character of Quicksilver to return to the MCU. Never, ever. It's done. Like, Pietro died in Age of Ultron, and he died for a reason. Because there is no use for a speedster in that
Nope.
Avengers ensemble. There's no
Not at
need.
all. Not when the
Eh,
Flash was already on TV by that point.
right. Like, DC already had it, and Fox did a better job at it. So there's no need for a speedster in the MCU. And I don't. I'm sorry for those who are really expecting Evan Peters to be a main character, a main team guy on the roster, but that just was never the case, and it was not supposed to be presented that way. I mean, it was introduced. It was shown that Agatha was behind it, and once that was revealed, I think your expectations should have lowered to like, ah, shit, like this ain't gonna be the Quicksilver for the MCU. Even the joke about your dead boyfriend quickly that should have quickly turned some signals, put the light bulb in your head like, whoa, this is kind of a villain territory. This guy's kind of an asshole. This is not something that even Fox's Quicksilver would say. This is out of character. That was out of pocket. I don't think this is the Quicksilver we can see going forth. So, what do you got to say about these people disappointed that Quicksilver isn't Evan Peters' Quicksilver turned out to be just kind of a fan service moment and not an actual new character in the MCU roster?
Well, for starters, bruh, I mean, let's keep it real here. He got more shine in, the limited episode run that he got in WandaVision than he did throughout the entire Dark Phoenix. So if that's if that's
Shit, that's true, man.
if that's going to be our baseline for what we're comparing this to, there really ain't a whole lot to be complaining about, bro. Like, I mean, look, we all had theories and ideas in our head once we seen him. Like, bro, like I said before, my wife seen him and she was like, "Hey, isn't that Magneto's son right there?" And I just busted out laughing when she said that, right? We all
Right.
and okay, and the fact that we all had these ideas in our head that ran 1,000 different directions speaks to the quality of the show because we couldn't predict it. We didn't really know what was going on. I don't have any complaints as to the way that character was written because it was established in the finale that wasn't Pietro. You know what I'm saying? That was purely 100% fan service. He could have,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, this motherfucker could have looked into the camera at any point and said, "Yeah, I know who you think I am, but do you know who I am?" At any point in time, he could have done that, right?
Yeah,
You
right.
know what I'm saying? Once we seen him, our minds went in 20 different directions. It went from having theories about seeing Magneto on the show as a
Yeah.
cameo to, House of M being referenced to
Mm-hmm.
Mephisto actually being the real villain and all of that. But come on, bro. Mephisto wasn't finna be the villain on a TV series, bro. Nah, not a chance. There was no way that Mephisto was finna be that guy, right?
Right, right.
So if anyone is disappointed, that disappointment comes from your own expectations because there were never any teasers that led anyone to believe that it could have been Mephisto. There were never any teasers that led anyone to believe that Magneto was going to make an appearance or that there'd be references to mutants in the MCU. You know what I mean? That speaks to the quality of the show. I have no comment whatsoever as to people being mad that the fake Pietro, who happened to be played by the guy that played Peter in, you know, the Fox X-Men series, ended up being a red herring because what the fuck else was he there to be for? Or my bad. What the fuck else was he there to do besides be a red herring? You know what I'm saying? I'm not tripping over that, bro. Like y'all gave us too much other quality content for me to be worried about Quicksilver when they didn't even give him the name Quicksilver. You know what I'm saying? And and
Right.
and if I'm not mistaken, in X-Men Days of Future Past, X-Men Apocalypse, X-Men Dark Phoenix, and Avengers Age of Ultron, was the name Quicksilver ever actually spoken in reference to that character?
I think it was just Peter or Pietro. I don't believe they were ever referenced as Quicksilver.
Well, there you go. And he's dead. So we ain't got to worry about all of that. On to the next one. You know what I'm saying? It was great. It
Right.
was it was great fan service, but I mean, hey, there
It
you
is what
go.
it is. Yeah. I think this also speaks on the volumes of this kind of new genre when it comes to these shows or these movies of fan theories. I think there's this new speculation, right? Speculation is almost onto its own for content creation. So you have YouTube channels doing speculation videos, just diagnosing every single scene, every single frame, doing breakdowns. It's Mephisto, it's Mephisto, it's Nightmare, it's Mephisto, it's this demon from the Marvel Universe, and this is gonna backdoor into the X-Men because that's Magneto's middle name. This person has this color on their shirt, and that's a reference to this or that or that. And I think people get too warped up in these fan theories to the point where it's basically it's disbelief, you know. And when you're expecting, Magneto to show up in episode 8, and you're expecting mutants, and you're expecting House of M, and you're expecting Mephisto to pop up in episode 9 because you saw 5 YouTube videos stating that Mephisto is showing up. I, I, I think you
Yep.
set yourself up for failure here because we're digging into something that's, they're great Easter eggs. Yes, the director put them there for a reason, but these are not meant to be taken literally. Some of this stuff is not supposed to be taken literally, and we're digging in. And some of this shit is a fake out. You know what I'm saying? They don't want us to figure the shit out by episode 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying? So of course you're gonna put this book that reference Mephisto on there. It's to make sure because they know we're gonna fucking try to decode this shit in episode by episode 1. They know us. So
Yep.
some of the shit is some of this shit is deliberately put there so we can be
Yeah.
like Magneto's showing up, or
Yeah, bro.
you know
Yeah,
what I'm
like
saying? It's cop
yeah,
outs. These
bro.
are fake outs, man.
When
These are
you yeah, when you expecting that fastball over the plate, guess what? The pitcher is gonna throw you a slider. The pitcher is gonna throw you a breaking ball or a curveball. Just because you thought it was gonna be a fastball doesn't mean that we're gonna throw you a fastball.
right, right.
And just because you can't hit the curveball doesn't mean it's my fault that you couldn't hit the curveball.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right, dude. Oh man, you guys, some of you guys are just, it's just so, it's man, it's easy bait. Like you're not like so, we're smart, right? We're smart. We decode the trailers and everything like that, but it's not like these movie producers and TV producers can't see that we're decoding this shit, and obviously the show is a mystery, so y'all bought hard on the bait, man. They bought the best bait they could on the tackle, and they threw the line in the water, and y'all just hook, line, and sinker, man, onto some of this shit. So I think expectations in some of these fan theories are ruining some people's expectations for these films or these movies or these TV series, and I don't. It's not up to the producers to deliver on your fan theory. It's on you as a consumer to subjectively look at the evidence of a YouTuber and then look at the evidence on the TV show to see where is it truly going. And if you take what this YouTuber is saying in a literal sense, and you're saying like, "Oh, this guy's the written Bible," like he figured it out, and you watch the show, and it's like that didn't happen. I'm so disappointed. Well, that's on you, man. That's not on the producers. That's not on WandaVision. And and I think the last time I've seen something like this was with The Last Jedi. But the difference between WandaVision and that was that J.J. Abrams left some pretty solid breadcrumbs in The Force Awakens. Like some little bit more deliberate breadcrumbs. And when Ryan Johnson did the second film and basically ignored those breadcrumbs, then I think some of that, like, well, what the fuck? Because in the movie, it wasn't adding up. But I think with this was that those breadcrumbs weren't exactly so specific and they weren't so detailed to where it was leading you towards something. Everything was sort of in vague. Everything was sort of still in the cloud of unknowing. So I think that's the major difference between people's expectations being subverted with The Last Jedi compared to the TV show of WandaVision. They were looking for something that just wasn't there. While in The Last Jedi, it was in the previous movie that established some of these rules or established some of these hints. And it's just the sequel didn't acknowledge those clues at all. So I don't know, man. I think people should just lay off some of the fan theories, and just try to enjoy and consume this entertainment. It's not their fault at all.